Your traditional 401k plan is what most people have when you're an employee at a company. So what that is it's in a category called defined contribution plan. So 401k plans came later, but defined benefit plans were actually the original pension plans that you used to hear about. Like, when people used to work their whole life for like General Motors or General Electric and you get a pension, the way that those companies provided a pension was through the defined benefit plan structure. So that was a plan where they said, hey, for every year that you work here, we're going to accrue a certain benefit so that by the time you retire at age whatever, you're going to get a certain income stream that we're going to pay out. And that income stream came from this giant plan that they set up. But it was never the employees that were contributing to it. It was always the employer, right? So the employer took the risk of both how much to contribute, as well as investing the plan assets such that they were able to fund the benefit that had been promised to their employees, right? And so in contrast to that, a defined contribution plan is where the employees fund their own retirement by deciding how much they want to contribute. Sometimes the employer will match something, sometimes they won't. And then it's the employer's responsibility to basically invest that in their plan using the options that the employer gave you. So essentially, the defined contribution plan was the newer plan that came around the block, which kind of shifted the responsibility and the burden, but also the benefit, if you did a good job, to the employee. The defined benefit plan is the one where the employer is responsible. Now, why is it relevant here? Most of those defined contribution plans are still around. They replaced the defined benefit plans because ultimately what happened was most of those pension plans, they got underfunded, right? So they became essentially too expensive for the companies to give that level of retirement benefits. So they said, hey, we're shifting it to the employees. But if you're a smaller business owner, like you have a small company, like ideal would be like a husband and wife, but even like a small group like of key employees and then one or, and a handful of employees, then it's more involved because you have to like do actuarial analysis and you have to sort of like look at what the cost will be and all that kind of thing. But the big benefit, to just boil it all down, is that if you're a small business owner with a higher income and you would max out your traditional 401k profit sharing plan, which, today is like in that high 50s, mid 60s range. So, $50,000 to $60,000. So let's say you're of such an income in your business that you would actually want to put up way more than that if you could, right? Then a defined benefit plan is the way that you can do that by setting up actuarially a benefit that you want to pay out to your employees, which ideally would be a small group. Then instead of, say, being limited to the $60,000 annual contribution, you could actually do like $100,000, $200,000, sometimes even more than $200,000 each year. And that's tax deductible. Then that money goes into your plan, and then the plan can be invested. And if that plan grows, then all of that growth goes to pay the retirement benefits.